Number 3.
Top 3. All right, number 3. Was John the Baptist a Nazarite?
It's a very good question.
What do you think, Jay?
In and say,
Oh.
I'll just jump in and I think Luke 1 verse 15 is where we that Bible verse where John's mother was commissioned to raise him as a Nazarite from his birth. So we have the angel speaking to Zacharias, I believe, and he says, the angel speaking, for he will be great of John. He will be great in the sight of the Lord and shall drink neither wine nor strong drink. He will also be filled with the Holy Spirit, even from his mother's womb. And so when we see the phrase, shall drink neither wine nor strong drink, there are other Bible verses that equate this with the Nazarite vow, that when a woman is pregnant and she should drink no strong drink, and when the child is brought up to not drink strong drink, among other things, it's an indication that he's going to take this Nazarite vow. And so one of them is abstaining from strong drink, and we see that in the verse we just read. But the vow of the Nazarite comprises mostly of 3 things, and that's found in Numbers chapter 6, verses 3, 4, 5, and 6. And so the first thing in that chapter is talking about wine and strong drink. He shall separate himself from wine and similar drink, and he shall drink neither vinegar made from wine nor vinegar made from similar drink. Neither shall he drink any grape juice nor eat fresh grapes or raisins. So people who take on that vow don't even drink grape juice or anything that is of the fruit of the grape. And all the days of his separation, he shall eat nothing that is produced by the grapevine, from the seed to the skin. I actually know a person who has claimed to take the Nazarite vow, and he's come over to my house several times, and if I'm offering anything with grape juice or fruit punch that has grape juice, he does not take it. And so I've learned to give him apple juice instead. The second thing is allowing the head of hair to grow. In the verse it says, all the days of the vow of his separation, no razor shall come upon his head until the days are fulfilled for which he separated himself to the Lord. He shall be holy. Then he shall let the locks of the hair of his head grow. So they let their hair grow out until their vow is fulfilled, whatever that vow may be. And then the third thing is that...
Oh, just one point on that. It's interesting. There was someone who had a lifelong Nazarene vow, right, and could never cut his hair, or shouldn't have ever cut his hair.
Yeah, you're talking about Samson. Yeah, we'll get to that right after I get through the third one. Number 6:6. All the days that he separate himself to the Lord will not go near a dead body. So they're not supposed to have anything from the fruit of the vine or grapes, nothing to do with it. They're supposed to grow their hair out, and they're supposed to avoid anything dead or decaying. And Samson, like you said, Jay, was someone who should not have cut his hair. He was supposed to be a Nazarite that would glorify God, and he was blessed with strength, and he knew that, if he was ever to cut his hair or have his hair cut, that he would lose his strength. But many people think that's the one thing that Samson did that made him lose his Nazarite vow. I'm not sure where the verse is, but when it first starts talking of Samson in the book of Judges, I believe, maybe not.
Yes.
It has an example of him going through the vineyard and the wine presses of the Philistines, where he finds a Philistine lady that caught his eye. He should not have been there in the first place. because he's not supposed to be around grapes. Judges 14, verse 5. So Samson went down to Timnah with his father and mother and came to the vineyards of Timnah. Now to his surprise, and so on and so forth. He wasn't supposed to be around vineyards. He wasn't supposed to be around wine presses. If he was a true Nazarite, he was supposed to be staying away from anything of the grape. So many people think, oh, he cut his hair and that's what did it. No, it was actually a lifestyle prior to that.
And then he's hanging around the carcass of the lion he ripped up.
Exactly. So there are different ways that the Bible shows us Samson was not true to his Nazarite vow. And the good point. And yeah, there are people to this day, like I said, I know someone who has a Nazarite vow. And I found that people who take on this Nazarite vow tend to be feast keepers of the Old Testament, like feasts that had to do with the tabernacle. They still keep the Passover, and those things have been fulfilled. So there are some people who might say, should I still take up a Nazarite vow like they did in the Old Testament? And I think to a certain extent, if one is impressed to take a Nazarite vow and they feel convicted, then, that's between them and the Lord. But my experience, limited as it may be, has found that those who do that tend to accept things in the Bible that have already been fulfilled, and it kind of distracts them from things like the three angels message and righteousness by faith, because they fall into the works. And so it's a fine line, I think, and that's just
It really
something
is.